Hey y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. Today is Friday, November 1st, 2024, and this is episode 70. I'm Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative, the number 1. If you are new here, I appreciate you checking me out. And as always, if you are returning, I appreciate you coming back. If you watched the last episode, you know that I've got some good giveaways to give away today. I've drawn all those, but I'm going to make you wait till later in the episode. So we'll move on to hearsay. It's been about not quite 2 weeks since I last recorded. Not a lot going on in my personal life, just working. Last night was Halloween. We don't get trick-or-treaters in my neighborhood because we have like 2-acre lots. So the houses, you can see the houses, but they're too far apart and they're back off the road. And it's just not one of those neighborhoods that people drive, bring their kids to because they can't easily walk from house to house. So I buy a couple of full-size candy bars for our one neighbor that has school-age kids and bribe them to come show me their costumes. But we do Halloween at my office building. Normally the School for the Blind comes over and trick-or-treats in our office buildings. And then also employees bring their kids. This year, I guess there was a scheduling conflict and the School for the Blind wasn't able to come, but a lot of employees brought their kids. And so it was fun to, we just do like a table on each floor and I sit out there with my witch's hat and, several of my coworkers were, more into it than I was this year as far as they actually dressed up in costumes. So it was a lot of fun to see not only the adults, but the kids. So we had a lot of Spider-Mans, a Batman and Robin, some Harry Potter, your normal stuff, and then mostly fandom stuff and your normal stuff. I was trying to think most creative. I don't know if it's creative. The most, I guess, unusual or different costume I saw was one of my coworkers who's in our technology department dressed up as like the Ben Stiller character from Dodgeball, which is a movie I have not seen, but I've seen pictures of that character. So anyway, so that was Halloween. Let's see what else. Other than that, they did have a one-day session last week to do some more Hurricane Helene relief stuff. We got a new heat pump yesterday. We're getting a new dishwasher next week. Laying out all the money for the home appliances, but hopefully we'll be up and running again soon. So the heat pump is installed and I need to read the manual to figure out how to program the thermostats again. But let's see. So today I actually worked from home. I rubbed my arm, reminded me because I was very productive on my lunch break today. I went and I got my hair cut. I went and I voted, and I went and got my flu vaccine and my COVID booster. So this arm is a little sore right now. That's what made me think of it because I was rubbing on it. But anyway, we'll move on to the crafting, which is what most of y'all are here for, I'm sure. First up is verdicts, and I have a really big one this time. If you've watched me before, you probably know exactly what this is. I did kind of peek it on Instagram, but I did not post a picture of the whole thing. So I have finished One Nation. This is a pattern by Bygone Stitches. I started this January 22nd of 2021, and I did it on the called for 28 count Picture This Plus Ale with the called for Classic Colorworks floss. And here it is. I'm hopefully going to be able to see through the fabric to make sure I get it all on screen. Hopefully you can see that, and I'm not chopping anything off. So I finished that up last Friday, I think, so a week ago today. And I am very excited to have this big finish done. And I'm just going to hold it there for a minute and hope that YouTube will pick this as my screenshot. So anyway, that is, if you're new here, this is the project that at the beginning of the year, I had done all of that, and I think I had started some of this. But at the beginning of the year, I sat down and kind of chopped up into 12 parts what I had left to do and did a part each month with the goal of finishing it by the end of December. But the last couple of months, as I got closer, I started doing a little more. And when I showed it to you last time, I knew that if I did not finish it by the end of October, I would finish it early November. So I was able to get the rest of my goals for October done. And so I knocked that out. And as you will see, I actually even got to some projects that weren't on my goal list this month. So that is it for verdicts. We will move on to court and session. Only one knitting whip to show you. That is in this fat squirrel bag. And this is the third litmus cowl that I'm making. I showed you this last time. I'm knitting this with US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. This is a mini skein set from Robin's Promise. In her Songbird base, I think the name of the set is Red, White, and Gray, or Red, Black, and Gray. I'm not sure. This little marker right here is where I was the last time you saw it. So I have gone through. This right here is a full repeat of all 10, where my finger is here from my right hand to my left hand. That is a full repeat. And with the mini skeins, I can get 5 repeats out. So I've done a little over 1 repeat. I would like to finish this by the end of November, which is definitely possible if I just work on it steadily. So, and again, that pattern is Litmus Cowl by Jude Harper. You can find that on Ravelry. Any knitting projects I show, I always have a Ravelry project page. If I don't give you information that you want, you can go find me on Ravelry. Again, I'm Legal Eagle, and I will have a project page that will give you a link to the pattern, the yarn that I'm using, the needle size that I'm using. And sometimes if I'm good and I'm making modifications, I'll put that in the notes. Can't always promise that's there. Excuse me. We will move on to cross stitch. For cross stitch projects, there is a link to a Google spreadsheet below, which lists all of my projects, designer, what fabric I'm using, the size of the project when I started it, and some notes occasionally about what floss I'm using if I'm changing something. So if I don't answer any questions as I go, you can find that information there, or you can always leave me a comment or send me an email. Hey y'all, sticking just a little bit of an insert in here because I was editing and realized that I forgot to give you my October stats. So I thought I would go ahead and stick them in here at the beginning where I normally would have put them in, for those of you who, like me, like to hear these things. So in October, I did a total of 17,757 stitches. I stitched 27 days and 83 hours on 17 projects. I began the month with 94 whips. I started 4 new whips. I finished 1, and I ended the month with 97 whips. So for those of y'all who like that information, there it goes. Back to the rest of the video. And as always, as I talk, I will be posting a picture of what the project will look like when it's finished. And if it exists, a picture of what the project looked like the last time you saw it. First up is in this brass button bag with koala bears on it. This was my second whip go call for October, which I had stitched on some when I last recorded, but I had not finished my goal. My whip go goals for this year were 10 hours on each project. This is Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. This is my oldest whip. I started this approximately July 31st of 2016, and then didn't stitch on it for at least 5 years. I wasn't stitching on anything for at least 5 years, and then really kind of got back into stitching again in 2020, late 20, early 2021. So when I showed you this last time, before I show you what I've done, when I showed you this last time, I told you that I didn't know if I would ever get this project finished. But that I plan to work it from top to bottom along the left edge so that if, I got to a point where I just wanted to be done, I would have some kind of finish. And there is, in fact, I'm sorry, I should have told you, this is a pattern that's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs based on artwork by Amy Stewart. There is what they call a story keep, I think, on Heaven and Earth Designs that is similar to what I'm talking about on the pattern. But of course the story keep there is just as big almost as a regular Haid. So after I last recorded, I got to thinking, and I thought, I really should just go ahead and crop this and mark up and just stitch it as that tall narrow. When I get done with that, if I want to keep going and move over further, I can, but at least I would have an accurate stitch count for what it is to do that part and how far along I am. So that's what I did, and that's one of the things I really like about markup as opposed to pattern keeper. I'm not anti pattern keeper. I just prefer markup. In markup, I was able to actually go in and crop the charts to the part I want to do, so that it is now giving me exactly how many stitches that portion of the chart is. I can see a mock-up of that portion of the chart and all that. So I will have previously to this posted a picture of the entire pattern, but I will post a picture here now of what I have cropped it to and what I am planning to do, at least initially. That cut out like 150,000 stitches. So instead of like 240 some thousand stitches, it's now like 90 some thousand stitches, which is much more manageable. And again, like I said, I'm not cutting my fabric. I still have the full piece of fabric. If when I do that part, I think, decide I want to add some more to it, I still can. And we'll go from there. So, it's a big piece of fabric, so I'm trying to get it folded up so I can show you a little better. So this is what I have done total this month, or in October. This was my goal. So that gridding over to where the solid line goes down, so ignore the stuff going off here to the side. That's as far wide as it is for what I have cropped it to right now. I did, let me find my notes. I did another 1,202 stitches since you last saw it, for a total of 2,097 in the 10 hours I worked on it in October. And I'm currently at 11.9% of the cropped piece. When I showed you this last time, I was at 3.6% of the total piece. So going forward, I will just talk about this in my numbers and percentages of what I have cropped, and will only show you my cropped picture. So I did more of this. I did a lot of this tree right here, and then I worked across the very top, trying to get kind of the top across done, so I can just kind of work from the top down, because of how I work in a Q-snap. So that was Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, my cropped version. Next up is Anzac. This is in a bag by Carrie Sews For You with winter gnomes. Not on theme, that's just what I had available at the time. This is a pattern by Long Dog Samplers. I started this on February 29th of 2024. Excuse me, this was my leap day start. And the goal is to have this done by leap day 2028. Which in order to do that, I have to do at least about 600 stitches a month. I am a little bit ahead of that at the moment, but that's not a bad thing. I am doing this on 40 count Laura's fabric in the colorway Brain Fog. And I will show you the silks in a moment. I'm doing this primarily with a variegated blue, green, and charcoal 123 silks for you. But I'm also, as you can see, I started right under the kangaroos. You can see I started that tree that is the shape of Australia. I'm doing that in green, and I also have some blues and yellows. I did an additional, pull it back so I can put a before picture. I did 1,238 stitches on this in October. I had not gotten to this in September, so I had 2 months worth of 600 stitches to get done. I am currently at 20%. So as long as I am at 25% by the end of February 2025, I will be on target, and I think I will probably be a little bit ahead of that. show you real quick for those who are interested. This is the primary floss that I'm using, and that is the green, that's the tree. I also have a blue that I'm going to do some of the water-like areas, and a gold that I'm going to do some of the sun-like areas in. So that is Anzac. I think I told you everything about that. That one can go over here. Next up, I did do a little bit of work on a stitch a day. This is supposed to be my Sunday stitch, but I had not worked on this since like early September. And I am still way behind on it, but I did do about 6 or 7 days worth. This is in a stitch and button bag, Vicky. And this is a pattern by Morning Glory Needleworks. I started this January 7th of this year. I'm doing it on 28 count Lugana by Mystic Fiber in the colorway Time Worn. And I only did about 107. I only did 178 stitches on this. So I did, I think, trying to remember by looking at 2, 3. I did 5. I think I did 5 blocks, like from that one over. So, like I said, I'm still way behind on this. I think I'm up through like maybe the middle of September. So I need to put some more effort into this. It's not, I don't not enjoy it. It's just not one of those projects I can work on for a length of time. You know, I can work on something that's just solid X's for like, give me a Saturday and I can get 6, 7, 8 hours in on a project if I want to. But this is just a little more tedious, a little more time consuming, and I get tired of it faster when I'm working on it at a given time. So it will get caught up hopefully by the end of the year so that I can finish it, if not by the end of the year, shortly thereafter. I don't have a percentage on that one because I'm doing that with paper. Next up is in this bag that I bought from Stitchery Express. I don't know who makes their bags. And this is on theme. This is the Mandalorian by Forbidden Fiber Co. And I started this July 16th of 2022. I'm doing it on 36 count Forbidden Fiber fabric in the colorway Tumbleweed with Forbidden Fiber Clo flosses. And I did work on this a little bit. I finished up Grogu's face and finished the outline of his body. Did a little bit more on the word Mandalorian. I did carry this line all the way out to the width that it needs to be. I did 936 stitches on this since you last saw it, and I'm currently at 42.2%. Okay, let's see. Next up. So like I said, I did have some time this past week to actually pull out some projects that were not on my like goal list for the year. Side tangent, I'm already thinking about 2025 goals. I have kept up with my WIP Go this year and my other goals that I set, but I realized that I overloaded myself a little more than I like with goals, so that it is most months it is taking me the majority of the month to get my goal projects done, and so I'm not getting to other projects that I didn't set specific goals for as often as I would like. And so I'm currently kind of working on thinking about my goals for 2025 to make that, so I hit projects a little bit more. So I'm going to have fewer like set goals that go on every month. And so more time to kind of rotate through projects. So most of my projects see at least some work. And some will get more focused work than others. But anyway, so I did was able to pull out 3 projects I had not worked on this year. First up is in this bag by, who made this bag? Oh, this is Lynn X Stitch Creates. This was from when she was doing a quarterly bag subscription, which she does not do anymore to my knowledge. And this is Autumn Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews. I started this on November 9th of 2022. I'm doing it on 40 count Atomic Ranch Vapors with the called for MPI silks. And this is where it is. I did 631 stitches. I filled in those butterflies on the pumpkin. They were previously just outlined. I did that snail on the far right and a little bit more. Well, I haven't finished the snail. He doesn't have a head yet, but the shell is there. Did a little bit more of that border on the bottom. I think I told you I did 631 stitches, and I'm currently at 25.7% on that. So I enjoy working with the MPI silks, and every time I pull this out, I really like it. So that's the problem with all my projects. I have so many, but most of them, every time I pull it out, I'm like, oh, I really like this. I need to finish it. But I have too many to finish it. Next, I pulled out, this is in a bag that I made, just a fabric bag. This is October's Party by Little House Needleworks. I started this September 23rd of 2023. I'm doing it on Atomic Ranch Fabrics, 40 count in the colorway Blue Ridge. I am doing this with the called for floss, except I'm changing the color of the words to suit me better and my fabric. So the called for floss, except the words are being done in Weeks Dye Works Chesapeake, which is not the called for. The called for the words is one of the browns. But when I went with the darker fabric, I wanted the words to be darker and stand out. I did exactly 500 stitches on this, and I'm currently at 22.1%. So I finished those little half circle things all the way across the top, so that's the full width of the piece. I did that second line of words, and I just finished some threads over here with some little bit of the leaf and stuff. So that one is a relatively quick one to stitch, and yet another one that when I stitch on it, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So yeah, so the called for, the words are supposed to be in this brown, but I'm changing it to Chesapeake. I had pulled, this blue is not actually in there. That's the one I pulled the first time as maybe words, but then I decided that I liked the Chesapeake better with the colors. So, I think, I told you when I started that one. Okay. And then the last one that I pulled out that I had not worked on in a while is in this bag by Stitch and Button. And this is Autumn is Joyful by Leela Studio. I started this December 20th of 2023. Excuse me. Trying to get it out. I still have a thread on this because this thing liked to drive me up the wall last night trying to figure out where I made a mistake, and it wasn't my mistake. It wasn't a mistake with the pattern either. It's my fabric. So let me show you. Anyway, let me show you what I did. Is I worked on this Quaker, which is not finished yet. And I'm doing this on 40 count Bestitch Me in the colorway Lunar, which is kind of a light green. I don't know that you're going to see it. You can see it quite correctly, but so the problem I had last night was I started this Quaker up here and I worked to this point, but then I came here and did this and worked up here, and I got to this and I started working up this way, and this was going to run it. I was going to run into that, and I thought, well, what did I mess up? Do I have to pull all this stuff out? So I started counting. I mean, I counted this whole thing 3 times, and it was all right. And so I counted right here, and I couldn't figure out how I had 17 stitches here and 16 stitches here. Absolutely, I mean, traced it, could not figure it out. Finally figured it out, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. Right here, it looks like a slub. I don't know if I can get it close enough for you to see. 3 strands of thread going this way becomes what looks like 1 strand, but is really 2 strands. There's a strand that disappeared. So this wire part is actually 2 strands that are like meshed together that I can poke the needle through. But where the 3rd strand went, I don't know. So there's actually 16.5 stitches between there, not 17. So I kind of fudged it. I don't know if you can see right there, that little center, right above my finger, that little center X. It's kind of flat looking, you know, squished looking. That is a fudge that. This is, and the only real good news, I guess, is this is literally the center of this flower that comes up this way. This stem goes up that slubby look. So this is still out because I've got to either later tonight or tomorrow stitch this other part while I remember what the problem is so I can fudge it all, because I am not, I don't think you can really tell from a distance what I did over here, and I think it's going to be fine. I'm just going to be fiddly for me to figure it out. So, but it was driving me crazy last night trying to figure it, not last night, Wednesday night, trying to figure out what in the heck I had done when I was counting and counting and counting and everything seemed right. There is a quote on this pattern that I didn't write down what the original quote is, and I'll put the picture up again here. I can't remember exactly what it says. It's like something about autumn is a little death or something, which I don't love. She has charted a second quote, which is autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower. I can't read my own handwriting without my readers. Autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower, which I like fine. But before she had done that, I had picked another quote that if I can chart it out and fit it in, I'm going to use instead, I think, which is autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go. So I will either use that quote or the additional one she's charted, not the one that is on the pattern. And I don't think I told you, I did 536 stitches on that, and I'm at 3.9%. I'm hoping that she comes out with the winter one before the winter equinox, because I would like to start that, because one of my potential, not goals, but methods of going through projects next year is to have all 4 of those started, because I have 3 of the 4 started. The 4th one just hadn't been released, and work on them seasonally. So, okay, I have 2 more new starts since last time. The first one is in this bag made by Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher. She has a floss tube. She also has an Etsy store. I talked about this one last time. I started this on October 26th. And this is the Wood Witch by Raven Stitchcraft. Dawn Enchanting Stitches and Mary Bridget Kelly on Instagram. I don't think she has a floss tube. I'm not sure that I know who she is. I found out about this from Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher. They were in her group, Crafts and Books on Facebook. We did a Zoom to start this. And I am doing this on 40 count Atomic Ranch in the colorway Pistachio. And that's how far I got while we were on the Zoom. We Zoomed that Saturday afternoon from about noon to 5 or so, about 5 hours. And I did 1,011 stitches. And I'm currently at 5.9%. I'm doing this just in DMC 310. And the hashtag we're using, if you want to join us, is hashtag Raven Stitchcraft Sal, I think. So, I worked, that is the full width across. And then I worked down to the hat so I could do some more solid stitching if I wanted to do a little less counting. And that is where that stands. And Sal for me is started along, so don't expect to see that one necessarily done anytime soon. And then I have one more new start. Yesterday, like I said, was Halloween, so I started a new project for Halloween. This is in this bag that I got from Sherry So Sweet. Got a little witch hat applique on the back. Very appropriate for Halloween and for this pattern. This is Stitchy Witchy Bell Pull by Stitchy Pros. I bought this pattern at the Barefoot Retreat in October, and then I showed you last time where I had bought the fabric and the floss for it when I was there again for 24 hours of cross stitch. And I figured this was a very appropriate pattern to start for Halloween, so I started this last night. I am doing this in the called for purple, but the called for black I think was Blackbird. It was Classic Colorworks. I think it was Blackbird, but Barefoot was out of that, so I'm doing it in Rainy Day is the called for purple, and then instead of black, I'm using Classic Colorworks Naughty Night, which is a very dark purplish navy that is presents very, you'll see, presents very black in the grand scheme of things. So that is how much I got done. I'm doing this on 40 count Barefoot Needle Arts fabric in the colorway Black Pearl. And I kind of worked my way down to, you may not be able to see, this is in the purple. So there's not a lot of distinction between the two. But, so that's where I did 633 stitches, and I'm currently at 7.7% on that. So as you can see, that is the full width of it. So it's very narrow, and then it will go down like, I think it's like 14.5 inches long on 40 count. So, and that is all of my stitching. On the docket, it is now November 1st. That means new WIPGO projects. My two WIPGO projects for November are Winter Wonderland, which is a pattern available on the, I butcher this every time, Historic Strickmeister website. I am actually, doing this through their app, which is called the Silk app. That is one of my older projects, so I'm hoping, I don't know that I won't finish it in November, I don't think, but I don't think 10 hours of stitching on it will get me to the finish, but I'm hoping it will get me close enough that I can finish it early part of 2025 and get that one off the list. My other WIPGO call for November is And a Forest Grew by, I think that's Rosewood Manor, which is something I just started last year and have not done a lot on. So that's a long-term project. New month means my regular goals, Kingdom of Books, 2,000 stitches, Anzac, 600 stitches. Away We Ride's my current Halloween project that I want to get 1,000 stitches on, a minimum of 400, but goal 1,000. I also want to finish the Litmus Cowl that I showed you. I do not have any planned starts for November. And although I have, based on my schedule at the beginning of the year, I have a start available if I want it. I think I'm probably going to save that for December if possible. I do have another start in December, and that's going to be the Little House Needleworks Log Cabin Christmas that's been coming out in 9 parts this year. All 9 parts are now out, and I am going to do that as one piece, and I'm going to start that in December. I'm probably going to try to save the November start for December in the hopes that Leela Studio releases Winter Quaker. With the Stitchy Witchy Bell Pull, I used up the last of my extra starts that I was earning as I finished 2 projects, to get 1 start. And I don't anticipate that I will finish 2 more projects to earn another start before the end of the year. And, it's not the end of the world if I start something that I didn't schedule, but I am still trying to stay under 100 projects, and I'm currently at 97. So, sorry, my eye's itching. Not necessarily under 100, trying not to go over 100 projects. 100 is kind of my mental cap right now. It's not a hard and fast rule, that nothing's going to stop me from going to 101 if there's a project I'm dying to start, and I just can't wait. But I'm trying to not do that. So, I think that's it for now. Like I said, I am working on my 2025 goals. I have kind of done a preliminary whip go board for next year. Looking at trying to get some work on some of my older full coverage pieces, but I haven't set that in stone yet. So probably closer to the end of the year, I'll tell you what my goals are. Either then, or I might just wait and do it when I always do an end of the year whip parade, either end of the year or the very first of the year. So, anyway, calendar, nothing particularly new. I've got next weekend is the weekend I'm going to the beach with some friends, primarily from a knitting retreat I used to attend, and get to see some friends I haven't seen in a while, so that will be fun. I am signed up for the February Barefoot Needle Arts retreat. So paid my invoice last week, whenever it came. I might be going to the Stitch and Thrift, which is like a 1.5-day retreat in Lexington, South Carolina. That's smaller. Sign-ups for that are opening up in a couple weeks, and I do plan to try to get into that. We'll see. So that is in January. Shout-outs. I wanted to do a couple of shout-outs because I didn't last time. Still haven't made my list, but I did go through and get some I think I haven't mentioned before. Made by Michelle McGraw. Y'all probably all know Made by Michelle McGraw, but she released a new video this week, and so I was reminded that I don't think I've mentioned her before. She is also in North Carolina. I may have mentioned her in that she was at Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat, but I don't think I've shouted her out as a floss tube that you should go and watch. So, go check her out. Also, New Hampshire Stitcher. She released a video in the last week or so. The first one she's released in several months. And did kind of a whip parade. So, go check her out. And a couple of new ones to me. Addie's Cross and Quilts. Is that right? Yeah, Addie's Cross and Quilts. Addie, I met last Saturday on the Zoom when we were starting the Raven Stitchcraft patterns. So she does both cross-stitching and quilting. And her videos are usually relatively short. So if you're looking for, I like a mix of short, quick ones when I don't have that much time. And then I'm all for the 2-hour ones when I'm going to sit and stitch all afternoon. So, so go check her out. She's got some neat things to see. And then the last one is a newish one. They only have 5 videos out, but you've got to go check these sisters out. They are hilarious. Sloppy Stitching Sisters. They are in Utah. Shay and Tasha. I went and started with number 1, and I'm glad I did because I had the time. So I spent, last one weekend day just going through. Excuse me. But if you can't go all the way back to 1, you got to watch number 3. Because I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I mean, they're hilarious all the time. But I was crying. I was laughing so hard at number 3. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you go read the title, it'll give you a clue. But it was they are just hilarious. I mean, they're always hilarious. And the way they kind of banter with each other and tell stories, and they're a lot of fun. So definitely go check out Sloppy Stitching Sisters, and give them some love. So that is it for shout outs. Before we get to Stashing for Retirement, I thought I would do the giveaway winners from last time, and there's 9 of them. So let me get my stuff together. Okay, I've got to put my glasses on for this so I can be sure to read names correctly. I will read the winner names out, but I will also put a screenshot up on the screen of the comment and the name so that if I butcher something, you can read it. I think I can do this. Assuming I'm correct and I can do this, I will tag you all in the comment, in the description box, rather than replying to your comment. I will either reply to your comment or I will tag you. One of the two. So, because I know, I mean, part of me is like, well, they should come back and watch my floss tube and see if they win. But there are so many floss tubes out there to watch these days that if you're like me, and sometimes I might not be able to watch somebody for a couple months, and then I'll binge watch everything I've missed. So I don't want to get a month from now and somebody hadn't contacted me because they haven't had time to go back and watch the videos, and then, you know, a week or so later they watch it, but I've already moved on to somebody else. So I'm going to tag or reply one or the other, whichever turns out to be easiest. So first up was Silver Creek Samplers. Will you be my... Fred's Unifying Question is the name of it. Will you be my neighbor? One of the legislative analysis... we call them LAs. What does it stand for? Legislative assistants. Couldn't think what it stood for. Legislative assistants at work. This yesterday was dressed as Fred Rogers. He was cute. So the winner for this is Jill Poteet -FD5XI. So Jill, if you will send me, I would prefer an email to criminallycreative1@gmail.com, but you can also DM me on Instagram if that is your preference. Number 2 was Teresa Kogat's Flying Lessons, and the winner of that is Anna Marie Cox-42. Anna Marie, if you will send me an email or a message with your mailing address. Number 3 was Sue Hillis Designs Patriotic Santa, and the winner of that is Denise Fu 3063. Congratulations, Denise. I met Denise last year at the Queen City Stitch Retreat, and I think she was there again this year, but I was not. So, Denise, if you will send me your mailing address and your full, legal name so I can mail it to you. Number 4 was October by Cricket Collection, and the winner of that is Linda Ducharme 4923. Linda, if you will email me. Number 5 was Winter by Cricket Collection. And the winner of that is Lisa Tripp-HS5TM. Linda Tripp, if you will message me. I looked, for a second, I thought somebody had scribbled all over this, and then I realized it's actually printed. Number 6 was the bag made by my friend Anne, Dazzling Dragonfly on Etsy, and she does have some bags in her shop now. So if you are not the winner of this bag, but you would like to purchase a bag, her bags are very well made. I like the fact that there's a zipper at the top. So you have plenty of room to get everything in there. So if you are not the winner, go check her Etsy site out. I will link it below. But the winner of this is the Steadfast Stitcher. Beth, you are the winner of this bag made by Anne. I don't know if you met Anne at Barefoot Retreat. Beth and Anne were both at Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat. I don't know if y'all actually met each other officially or not. But, so Beth, if you will actually send me your mailing address, I will send that out to you. And then I had the breast cancer bag from Barefoot Needle Art, as well as the faith pattern designed by Amy of Barefoot Needle Art, in honor of Memory, who is Amy's wife, who is also the owner of Barefoot Needle Arts, who is currently going through breast cancer treatment. And the winner of this is Rachel Clack 3223. Rachel, if you will send me your mailing address. And then I was also giving away 2 gift cards for $25 US to the online retailer of your choice that I can either use PayPal or feel confident that I'm safely using my credit card. So I will do an overseas retailer as long as I feel confident in their security. Will not do AliExpress, will not do Temu, but if there is an online retailer or a local needlework shop that will let me purchase you a gift card online, I'm willing to do it. Same thing for the U.S. I'm willing to do a brick and mortar shop if I can purchase the gift card online, which I know I can do with Barefoot Needle Art. I think I can do... I don't know if Stitch New England has gift cards online. If they don't, I'm willing to call Pam because I know her. But I don't really want to have to call random shops and figure out how to do it. So I want to be able to do it online if possible. Anyway, the two winners of that are Robin Fierce 5462 and Sally, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Sally Diem 9327. Sally and I Zoom with Pam a lot, Hawker and Hollow and Fancy Folk, but Sally, I realized I don't know how to pronounce that last name. But Robin and Sally, if y'all will just send me an email and tell me where you would like your gift card from, then I will order that and have that sent to your email address that you email me from. So please, if you do not email me from the one you want it sent to, please tell me in the email what email address you want the gift card sent to. And that will be for $25 US or the equivalent once the conversion has been done. If I know I think Sally's in the US, not Canada. I'm not sure. If Robin, if you're not in the US, then whatever denomination you work in, it'll be the equivalent in $25 US. So anyway, so that is all the giveaways. And I do have a little bit of stashing for retirement. Not too much. So stashing for retirement, I got 2 club fabrics. I got my October Be Stitch Me, which is cold foam. I get 40 count in the neutral. I'm going to have to make some hard decisions about my fabric subscriptions for next year. I'm accumulating fabric faster than I'm stitching. So I think I'm going to have to pause most of them for at least a year. And then I got my October Atomic Ranch that I do through Pam at Stitch New England. And this month it was Moonstone. Really pretty blue. I actually just placed an order from Pam for some new charts that came out, and I ordered a piece of this in 32 count Lugana because I really like this blue. I ordered, so Cross Stitch and Country Crafts in Johnson City, Tennessee, has 2 fundraiser charts for the Hurricane Helene victims in western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, western Virginia, maybe some northern Georgia. I'm not sure if it went down that far or not. Primarily western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, I think were the hardest hit by the flooding and stuff. And so I ordered both of those. This is Go Tell It on the Mountain by the Proper Stitcher. And Appalachian Strong by the Nebby Needle. If you're not from North Carolina or Tennessee, it is Appalachian, not Appalachian. Just so you know. Both of these are smallish, relatively quick stitches. As a matter of fact, my friend Christina started this at 24 hours of cross stitch when we were at Barefoot and finished it like the day after she got home. So it was relatively quick. Both of these can be ordered from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts in Johnson City, Tennessee. You do have to call them on the phone. I believe that this one by the Proper Stitcher can be ordered in a PDF as opposed to a hard copy, but this one is only available in hard copy. I think I have that right. Pretty sure that one of them can be available in PDF, and I think it's this one. So if you're interested, I think if I remember correctly, they were like $8 a piece. She stuck them in the mail. They got here really quick. I don't know exactly what percentages or whatever are going for fundraiser, but I know that they had, they were selling a lot of them. So, but I think they're willing to make more. So I think probably I will do this one first, just because I like both of them. This is the one that I'm drawn to a little bit more. So, let's see. I also ordered, let me take this out of here. I was housing that in there. This is a bag I got from Whip It Up. So that is the front, vinyl front, patchwork. And this is the back. Look at that. I did not need another Halloween bag. I couldn't resist it. I love it. So, very nicely made. Feels like it's got kind of the foamy stuff on the back part. And just regular stabilizer on this front fabric part. Nice binding. Got a handle. Zipper is very close to the top, so you've got plenty of room. So, very nicely made bag. That is Whip It Up. And then I had ordered the Chantel 141 ornament box, which was 5 ornament patterns from 5 designers, as well as the finishing pieces to finish them. Sorry for if there's any crinkling. I'm trying to make sure I got everything out of the bag. And that arrived a week or so ago. Came with a card, Ornament Mystery 2024. And I will show you the patterns and I'll show you the finishing pieces. There was also these little stickers to put, I guess, on the back of your project or whatever. I'm guessing there's 5 in there. I haven't opened them. Hands-on Design, A Home for the Holiday. Cute. Robin Pickens cross-stitch patterns, Snow-Kissed Mittens. And this gives you both a blue colorway and a red colorway, so you can choose. Frosty Bulb by Teresa Kogut. Peaceful Snowman by Annie B's Folk Art. Sorry, trying to get the glare off of there. And then this one is probably my favorite because it's Plum Street, which is one of my favorites. All is Calm. Isn't that cute? The donkey and the snowman. So, all 5 of those patterns. And then you got a little burlappy bag. And in it are the finishing pieces from Chantel 141. Get them out of here. Whoops. And, of course, I dropped one. Excuse me. So, we have the ornament shape, which was, I think, the Hands-On Design. We got the sled, which was the Robin Pickens. I'm not sure which one this was. Like a kind of a tag. And another, like, ridge tag. And then another little. And these are good, you know, good, thick, not flimsy wood finishing pieces. So, I hold no illusions that these 5 will be done for Christmas this year. Even if I got them stitched, they probably wouldn't be fully finished. But I might get one done. I don't know. I might try to do the donkey, but then again, I just said I don't have any room for start, so we'll see. I think that's it. That is it for my stashing for retirement, and I think that is it for everything. I'm actually under an hour, and I've got a little bit to chop out. So I hope if you celebrate Halloween that you had fun and got lots of candy. November, we're getting ready to head into the holiday season. At least here in the U.S., we have U.S. Thanksgiving late in November. I have Monday the 11th off for Veterans Day, so I won't be back before then. So if you're a veteran, thank you for your service. I will be back before Thanksgiving, and then we go into Christmas. This is the time of year that it's really nice because, you know, it seems like every other week we have a day off work, and then we get through to Martin Luther King Day in January, and then there's like nothing till Good Friday. It's like February, March, April always seems so long because we have no holidays. So, anyway, but I hope if you, well, I'm not going to go off on a long tangent, but, you know, we had Hurricane Helene, all the flooding, and then there was Roswell, New Mexico flooded. I can't remember if that happened before or after I last recorded. My husband grew up in Roswell, New Mexico, so he still has some friends that live there, just freak flash floods in Roswell, New Mexico, and now Valencia, Spain, and we've got a good friend that's moved over there now, and he was fine, but I don't know what's going on with all the flooding. I mean, I know climate change and all that stuff, but it's kind of freaky how it's just all happening right here together. So anyway, wherever you are in the world, I hope that you are safe, um, and that you are doing well. And I appreciate you coming and watching me ramble and show you my craft projects. And until next time, just take care of yourself. So if you're one of the winners of the giveaway, please send me an email. If you want something physical, I need your full name, mailing address. If you're one of the 2 gift card winners, I just need what online, 123 Stitch, Etsy, whatever, that I can order a $25 gift card for, and what email address you want that sent to. So anyway, I think that's it. Everyone take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.